and we've talked about the bulk of the episode. Now we're going to talk about what it's left us with. I've just seen Chris from Cultivated Media. He has beamed out, and a substitute seems to have beamed in. I'm not sure. Probably from the mirror universe. We're joined by Bob's Trick. So I think I'm starting to see where this could go. But first of all, I want to talk. Oh God! So okay. First of all, I want to talk about this guy because I think, I was expecting him to die. I was sort of fine that he died, to be truthful. I love the actor. I had nothing against him, Todd Stashwick. Thought he was fantastic as Captain Liam Shaw, but I did see this coming, and I thought it was a great death. And I personally would be happy, or I'd be content if we didn't see this character again. I kind of get fed up of characters getting redeemed and things like that. But people are chomping at the bit for this to have been undone in the finale. Why didn't you undo that and want to see more of Captain Shaw? We have got a quote here from Terry Matalis, and he says that he and Stashwick do have plans for Captain Shaw despite his death. This was always Shaw's journey. He said, who was he speaking to Screen Rant? And he says that he wants to make it clear there is nothing in development at Paramount at the moment, although we've all seen the hashtag. But should one day the stars align, there was a plan from day one for Todd, and Shaw is going to be a part of it. How, you ask? It's amazing, and that's all I will say. Every time Todd and I talk about it, we get chills. So, anybody think that they should have undone this in the finale? And we've got a yes.
Yes.
No, not that's just me raising my hand. I do not think it should have been undone at all.
For the same reasons.
No, I agree with you. Because otherwise, his sacrifice wouldn't mean anything, right? So I think him in this series bowing out was absolutely the right thing to do. So if they bring him back and how they bring him back, I'm kind of okay with that because I do love him, but he should not have been brought back in this finale. Is my view.
I'd go one further and say he should never have been killed. Raffi should have been killed.
Exactly. 100%.
Hold forward with him and 7 and 9.
Absolutely.
On this ship, moving forward with Jack, and that should have been the team instead of this.
Yes.
Again, I would use that.
Lovers in space is what it's going to be.
Yes, it's going to be.
I was very surprised to see the Titan rechristened as the Enterprise G. I like this ship. I thought it was a little clunky, a little ugly at first. It's called a Neo-Constitution ship, isn't it? But it has grown on me. And I think, as much as I love the Galaxy-class Enterprise D, I do kind of prefer the idea of the Enterprise being an exploratory vessel, a smaller ship that is out there in the depths of space. It's one quadrant or another, going where no one has gone before. That's what I like to think of the Enterprise as. And I think that earlier on we talked, Ian, about that skip forward of a year. I was expecting that. I expected it to be a far longer period of time because I knew that they'd want to fast track Jack Crusher a little because he clearly is the future of this franchise to some degree or another. I thought the moment where he's there with his parents going out to his assignment, the Titan, the new Enterprise, I thought all that was beautifully done. And again, the acting, the writing, everything is as good as ever. And you know what? I'm absolutely fine with 7 of 9 being the captain of the Enterprise for the time being. But I did have a couple of questions about. I do wonder, and I like her. I think she has been partly redeemed, and I certainly like the actress. But why is Raffi on this ship?
Exactly.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean,
Do you reckon Kurtzman came in at the last moment and said, "We gotta have strong women"? Put Raffi on the ship.
This is the last moment. There's probably something that said X amount of, Kurtzman Trek has to be carried over if this is popular. Maybe
it does. I mean, Andy, it does tidy things up, doesn't it? Because at the end of the day, he's only got so much screen time, and the woman has been a cast member of not just all of this season, but all 3 seasons. The actress has been. I think the actress has always been consistent, even when she was getting really bad material. And I think I wouldn't describe her as being a revelation in this, but I think she's more than held up her end of the bargain throughout season 3. but it is a little conspicuous that she's on.
Yeah.
It is only one scene, so I'm trying not to extrapolate too much from this, to read too much into it, and to see it as some sort of big disaster. She's her ex as well. So why are they? Oh, sorry. I think we've got Chris. Bolstrek wants to have a word.
Yeah.
Go, Chris. Go, Chris.
Hello. Except Chris is.
Sorry, Bolstrek. Bowles, come
Yellow
in.
Man comes out when I'm not happy. I got the split personality thing.
Go, Yellow Man.
What a crap ending! I'm not talking about the next generation stuff. That was awesome, but good God, Jesus Christ! I didn't mean to take the Lord's name in vain, but I did. Okay, so 7, I'm okay with. Young Jean-Luc, I'm okay with. We don't want a love series on the Enterprise G. No! You could have not killed Shaw. You could have had what everybody wanted, which was 7 and Shaw.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we've got 7 and Raffi. I
got the feeling
spoilers.
that...
I was not very happy with this. I thought it was kind of this is a terrible idea. And also, so if they are going forward with this, so I guess their crew are going to be those characters whose names we couldn't even remember that were on the Titan, because they're all still there. So that's going to be fascinating. So it's going to be it's going to be STD the sequel, but with at least one likable character. But remember, STD did have Anson Mount, so we're going to have 7 as Anson Mount. I have to eat crow a little bit here, Dan. I would say. Okay, so I was saying that so CBS, Paramount, they're not going to go back and do what they'd already done, because they'd seen you gave it to Metalis, he gave you something good, everybody loved it, and then what I said wasn't going to happen did happen, because look at what we've had.
I think I agree.
Look at the announcements.
Yeah.
So what do we? So we've had an amazing PICARD season 3, Next Generation season 8. What do we have to look forward to now? Well, we've got STD season 5. We got Starfleet Academy, which sounds even worse than Discovery.
These are already greenlit, right?
That's how I feel, Andy.
Well, they've been talking about Starfleet Academy for years, and now they're finally going to flush it down.
These were greenlit a year ago.
Without
they just announced it now on the bounce of something good, hoping we'd all go, yay, but we're not stupid. It's all gone.
That's the end of my
I don't think they knew how big this was going to be.
Yeah,
I don't think that they anticipated how successful this was going to be.
How bad
and certain contracts were already signed.
Well, how bad is STD season 5 going to look?
Oh, it's going to be awful.
Hard.
Everything is going to burn harder than the beginning.
Do you know what I think happened?
So badly.
Do you know what I think happened? I reckon Alex Kurtzman realized there wasn't any of his characters in this season, and he went, "What's going on? Right, get Raffi in there." So Raffi was squeezed into the story, and then he said, "Right, I want Raffi in the next season," and Raffi is there. I'm not happy with Raffi.
I think so. Probably something contractually that Terry had to put something in there, and that was Raffi, right?
I reckon so.
And hence she had to survive to the end.
Yeah.
What I did like, well, I don't mean this in a homophobic way, but he wrote out their relationship, and people on Twitter are like, "Oh my god, I can't believe they did that!" But he's wrote it out, and even if she's there, doesn't mean if he's in charge of what happens next, doesn't mean they have to then be scissoring in space. I think he'll just be the
Did he write it out though?
I don't think
he wrote it out. It just
he never mentioned it.
Exactly, because that's how normal TV happens. They might both be that progressive, but you don't have to call it out and talk about it all the time, right? They're just normal people doing their jobs. So this whole season was people doing their jobs, because that's what Starfleet's about.
I think if you could find people, Andy, and I know they're out there. I know several people who haven't seen seasons 1 and 2 but have watched this, and if you ask them, did you pick up on the fact that they used to be an item? Most of them would say, "Oh, was that right? I don't there'd be any connective tissue there." Is that what you were thinking as well, Greg? What do you think, Greg?
That's why people were imploding on Twitter. Sorry, carry on.
No, I was just going to say that I think that it's a good question, because there is that moment when they first see each other this season that it does look like there's at least history. I wouldn't go as far as saying that, oh my gosh, that's a relationship that's been left unresolved, unlike Laris. I think that there is a lot, but there's clearly some sort of history there. I just want to say real fast about Shaw is that Shaw, I'm tired of people hoping that characters survive only for spin-offs. You know what I mean? I want these characters to exist because there's a story to be told. And if it meant that Shaw needed to die for the story, whether we agree with that or not, but Metellus does, then that's great. It's just unfortunate that it's like a constant choose your own adventure that we want, the audience wants it. Therefore the story may end up suffering because of it, because now you know that Shaw's going to exist somehow. And I mean, I think there's ways for it to work, but it just is a little bit, to me, it's a little bit forced and a little bit more kowtowing than I would prefer myself.
Oh, I think what Seven will find is she'll be going through his personal effects and find, his logs all in hologram form, and then she'll kind of glean, a little bit of stuff here and there. Oh, this is how I can solve this, or this is how, or I don't know how this is going to help. And then all of a sudden, oh, I have an epiphany. So, I mean, maybe that's a good way to, to bring Shaw in without having Shaw there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I suppose Jonathan Frakes did play both Will and Tom Riker. But yeah, generally speaking, I think that things like that should be resisted. See, to me, there are some things about the way that this wrapped up that the coders, we get various epilogues, I think, to the actual drama. Some of them I liked, some of them I was scratching my head over, and some of them I just think were there just as a testing, or almost some sort of testing ground to see how people would react to it. Because he's very clear, nothing is in development at Paramount, nothing has been picked up. Mm-hmm. He's come up with hashtag Star Trek Legacy. We all know about this. He's made it very public that that's the show that that Terry Metellus wants to make next. And I would imagine he'd want to bring back as many of the crew, the production personnel that have worked with him so successfully on this. He'd want to bring them back too, I would say. But nothing is in development whereby things that have been agreed on before they're coming. And I would say, trying to sort of temper my own expectations a little, I don't think that an Enterprise G show with Captain Seven and that crew is something that is being considered. I can't imagine that being something that Terry Metellus want to make. I mean, I could be wrong, but that, to me, that doesn't seem like Star Trek Legacy. That's how he's talked about Star Trek Legacy is a broader format about the entire Star Trek universe, rather than sending a starship off into space and we get to follow the crew as they get to know one another, blah, 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 as we always had. So I don't think we're going to get that show anyway, in which case, do those two scenes really matter? But I believe that when we do see something pick up, because they have to pick something up from this, it's been too successful. Star Trek Picard Season 3 has broken into the top 10 streaming shows for the first time. And Star Trek has been streaming since 2017. That's nearly 6 years. And it's never done it before. So they'd be mad not. That's got to have registered. So we're going to get something. But I think that by the time that we'll get it, I think that they'll move it on longer. I think that year gap, there'll be another gap of 3 or 4 years. So we could potentially see Jack in a much higher position. And some of these things just won't get picked up on at all, and others will. But they can pick and choose. And Doctor Who's been doing that for decades. Not everything has to go somewhere, but it's just putting ideas out there and seeing what connects, what other writers may want to pick up on, and what the audience respond to. I don't know how clever or how cunning he was in putting it all together. I'd love to find out.
Well, the other thing that surprised me was when you see them on the Enterprise bridge at the end, Enterprise D, and they're like wrapping things up. And like you said, it's been a year later, and it's like, well, you've left the lights on the whole time. Why didn't you shut it? But I was really surprised that they weren't refitting it a little more, and he was finishing it because he's like, well, I don't have all the parts on yet, and we actually get to see that all good things Enterprise with the third nacelle and the big ass cannon on the front, and then finally, they say, all right, Riker, it's your chance. And he goes, I finally get a chance at the big chair. And you send the Enterprise D with, completely refit, off to do the legacy thing. I'm surprised they didn't do that.
Oh, I never would have thought that at all, to be honest, because the Enterprise D is a museum piece. And my personal headcanon says that year that you cut to the year later is mainly just like, this is it might have been a goodwill tour going around to different places after the decimation of Starfleet and Earth. I mean, I guess my understanding, and I think you said it earlier, that they recreated the Enterprise to reflect from season 7. So I always just thought it was a museum piece personally.
Well, additionally, it was one thing that I had seen somewhere that they said that even in the recreation of the bridge and everything, that they had different lights and stuff in the panels originally, and they would get kind of hot, and then they actually wanted to match the look of those lights near the end, and they had to, they put LEDs that they could actually change the color so they could match the same color of that time. So I'm surprised that they put a lot of money and effort into having something, not just for fan service, but now you've got this great set. Why not use it? And it is a museum piece, but after a refit and after, the decimation of Starfleet and a lot of ships going down, it'd be like, well, we kind of need all we can get. We're not going to put the Enterprise A out there because that is a damn relic. But Enterprise D, she showed her muscle, and now she's going to bare her teeth. So they could have easily done that.
I mean, maybe she was protecting the Earth for that year before, and then she got retired to the fleet.
Good point.
We don't know, but it'd probably be a bit boring just seeing her circling the Earth for a year. But she was the only ship, and maybe they brought some older ships out while they're repairing space dock. We don't know.
Good point.
But just to see her finally, I think it was like finally seeing her retired and being in the Fleet Museum is where she belonged, not crashed in some planet somewhere that, and I think that was the point that I think Terry was trying to make, that she deserves her place in the Fleet Museum along with all the other Enterprises.
It would have been a really cool Star Trek 4 moment if when they went back to the new space dock, sitting behind the Titan would have been a new Galaxy class, Galaxy class 2 sitting back there and be like, Admirals, there she is. Yeah. And then that would be Enterprise G.
Yeah. I mean, I love the fact that the Enterprise is now a Constitution class again, even Neo. But she was always supposed to be the flagship ship. This is the pinnacle of our fleet. And obviously the Titan's not. So I'm a bit torn on that. I love that it's back to being a Constitution class, but she wouldn't be some small... Or maybe she should be. She should go back to being this small,
I know what
adventurous
you mean.
ship. I don't know, but I'm kind of torn on that. I thought they were going to name it the PICARD. The NCC.
Thank God they didn't.
I thought that's what they were going to do, but
And that's another thing too. Is I was actually really frustrated that they named the Titan, rechristened it as the Enterprise, because the Titan itself saved the fleet, saved the day. And it has a big part in what happened. So that is now and in Captain Shaw's, I mean, everything that he fought for, and he went through, and he gave up his ship, not always willingly, but he was. I mean, that whole story has been sidelined, and I feel. I mean, as much as I want an Enterprise G, I felt that this was a very.
It's the wrong ship. It's the wrong ship. Yeah.
It's the wrong ship. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
One thing that I'm surprised they don't have something that they call the Enterprise curse, because this ship really could be the Titanic. If you look at the history, like 1701 is destroyed in Star Trek 3 by Kirk. The A only serves for 6 years, then goes off to a museum. Kirk is killed during the christening of Enterprise B. The Enterprise C is lost with all hands during the Kittimer incident. Enterprise D is crashed into Viridian 3 and destroyed. The Enterprise E is destroyed by Worf.
Apparently.
That's the movie I want to see.
Parallel parking, by the way. Parallel parking.
And well, here's the question I have, and this is one thing that bugs me. So at most the life of the Enterprise F would have been like 18, maybe 19 years if Worf really crashed the E on his first day. So why was what was wrong with the F? Why was its term so short? Because its decommissioning ceremony was supposed to be Frontier Day or Star Trek Day. And I'm like, what was wrong with it? But I'm like, no, there's an Enterprise curse. I'm like, oh, so you're going on the Enterprise? Yeah, there's like a 2 in 3 chance you're all gonna die, but have fun.
Have fun.
So we're not necessarily sold on either the Titan becoming the Enterprise, or this plucky new crew. Then is that universal?
Yes. Well, no, I won't speak for others, but I'm back to being happy stick figures, so my rant is over. But no,
I was covering.
Yeah, it's just
Raffi just now. So.
It's just Raffi, yeah. The crew. I think most people are okay with the crew, but Raffi, you kind of go, why is she there?
Yeah, she got promoted. What?
I don't know. I think Jack. To me, that's Jack. To me, Jack is, first of all, Jack can't, the whole thing about going to the ship, the fact that he doesn't even know what he's supposed to do on the ship, it just, that seems really weird to me.
You're an ensign, get your butt down.
Sure. Special counselor.
Special counselor.
2009 thing where, Kirk is just out of the academy. Oh, what, a week later he's captain. I'm like, it's kind of like that.
Well, that
I don't know.
We don't talk about those films.
Well, he did say a little bit of nepotism. It's just like, mom and dad are admirals. Oh, yeah, come on, let's get on the Enterprise. Bye.
Speaking about mom and dad, Beverly Crusher's back at Starfleet again. She's left 2-3 times now, but she's come back and she's an admiral.
3 years she's admiral. Just bang her back in. I don't know. Some of it was though, like, I know, not laziness or flippantness, but if Terry really thought like this is all I'm gonna get, I'm never gonna make something else. Maybe at the end he was just a little bit flippant about it, like, this is gonna happen. I've got to have Raffi on the crew, whatever. Put Jack on there because actually he's gonna end up being, Raffi's replacement, hopefully. But I don't know. So maybe some of it was just a little bit like, I'm not gonna get another show, but hey, let's just go with this because everyone will love Seven, Jack, Sydney, and whatever.
It does bring Seven, even if we never see Seven captaining this ship again. It kind of, because we've followed Seven already for 7 years on another show.
Exactly. I think Seven had a great ending.
4 years.
Enjoyed Seven.
She deserves a
4 years.
Yes.
I know, like if Legacy ever happens, I think she needs to be there.
100%. They just need to take Raffi off.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not against it.
Yeah.
I
think
for me, these last 10 minutes and all these little bits and bobs there, it's fine to, because I would imagine, I haven't seen any reviews of this, but I can imagine that people who haven't been won over by this series, who've been waiting for the wheels to come off it and to fire anything at it they possibly can, will have probably been all over this with great glee. But and I think that is they should have their fun. Of course, they should. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But I think it's also to keep a cool head and to look at it for what it is. They couldn't have possibly have anticipated this would be as successful as it has been. I think they obviously had hopes for it, but as I say, 6 years of it not breaking into the top 10 streaming shows, and it has. So to me, it's fine to sow some seeds for things, to throw a certain amount of stuff at the wall and see what sticks, and to tempt the fates of certain characters, and to pull our collective plonkers a little as well, and to jangle the keys too. Because why not jangle the keys? It might not necessarily be a bad thing if it keeps these questions and these possibilities in our heads, and keeps us using that hashtag Star Trek Legacy to push forward to get something in production.
Yeah,
That's what's most
I
important.
loved the mid-credit scene. I don't know if everybody else did, but the fact they completely retcon season 2, love that.
Well,
you like that scene?
I did, yeah. I really did.
What happened? What scene are we talking about then, Andy? You clear things up while I get the picture.
So the mid-credit scene was all about Jack unpacking in his room, and then which I love the whole. He brings out the most 80s picture ever of Gates McFadden.
Yes.
and,
those together.
And
the little model of the D.
Yeah, and then
and he didn't have any lights on in his room either, so he couldn't bloody see a thing. There you go. So
I know. And then he hears a voice, and he turns around, and there is Q.
Old Q. Why is he old? Why is Q old?
Well, he wants to be. He's back being old because you just
because
thinking
the
linear.
actor's old.
Yeah, actor's old, but you're just thinking linear because you're just like humans.
He made himself old permanently.
But
rubbish.
Do you not love the fact that he's back, given how ridiculously he died, given he's like immortal in the first place?
Firstly, we have no idea. I mean, I never took any of that seriously about Q. I didn't understand it, what they were saying. It was badly written. It was I wouldn't say it was badly acted, but I don't think John Delancey understood what he was supposed to be doing either. He does.
Q showed up 4 times, and he was a really poor plot device. I mean, it could have been a blender, just spouting off lines instead of Q. It didn't matter.
Here's why I like this. Firstly, it undoes that. There's no reason for a character like Q to die.
Exactly.
Star Trek. These omnipotent characters are the stock trade of Star Trek. In some ways, it's bread and butter, and I'd rather have Q return over and over again until John Delancey finally gets fed up of playing him. I'd rather this happen over and over again. Now, the way I see this, again, this could go anywhere. And of course, you're right. He's an older actor, just like Patrick Stewart is. But why this interests me potentially is that Jack Crusher, he's spent by this point, he's known his father for a year and a bit, and now he's off on a starship somewhere, and his only other company it's another father figure. It's playing with the idea that, and I think that's why I'm not saying they're going to do anything with this, but this is what I saw. I saw another patriarchal style character, and I think that's why he would appeal to Jack as an older man, because he's thinking, well, this is Picard's son. I've got history with this family. So I will appear as this sort of patriarchal figure because I've got a history with this old man. I mean, you could say that's all headcanon. Of course, it's all headcanon. Of course it is. But if I'm making up that distance already, if I'm imagining the possibilities for that, Greg, where that could go for drama somewhere we haven't been before, that's what good writers, that's the things that they want to plant in our heads, isn't it? They want us to...
It is, I guess you have to like Jack first to be able to buy that, which is not really where I am at personally.
You haven't warmed to the character throughout the entire...
Jack to me, and I had a conversation with a friend yesterday about it, and I think he's right about it, but I still am not a big fan. Like, I don't understand how he saw the Borg was his... was what was with him his whole life. He knows what the Borg is. I'm pretty sure he knows what the Borg is. He goes there by himself, and he basically falls into the trap. And I mean, my friend was like, well, it's because he's trying to help things, and he's trying to do it on his own. And I don't think that could very well be. But at the end of the day, he went to the Borg by himself, and he became immediately, he immediately became assimilated, and then he started to put out that beacon thing. And I just, throughout the whole thing, he's fine, but I don't think he's strong enough to be in this position. And I'm kind of like with people are with the Borg. I'm just kind of bored of Q, I guess, perhaps. And Dan, you're absolutely right. There could be a lot of great things that come out of it. I guess maybe it's a little bit more fatigue on my end.
Yeah, so I've always liked the character of Jack. Always liked Eight Spaliers, but I can see exactly what you're saying.
I think for me, it was more undoing that stupid death So whether they take Q anywhere or they don't is kind of, for me, almost irrelevant. It's the fact
we
that
may never see him again. Yeah, it's fine.
It's the fact that they've undone that. For me personally, that's stupidity. That's my point.
We could have some fun banter with that, especially since Jack's a wild card. Because remember when Q showed up that one time in, I think, season 1 of DS9, and he got struck by Cisco, and he says, "You hit me. Picard never hit me." I mean, just that was great. I mean, I can just imagine Jack just plugging him in the face.
Yeah,
I love all that stuff. There's some cracking photos that the cast members and the crew of Picard have been sharing on social media. So again, there's one here from Misha Burton, who's LeVar Burton's daughter. We've had Terry's own shots there, some comedy stuff that he's put out.
If
Gates
she could be any more beautiful, I would leave my wife. Wow, she is so beautiful. My wife's watching. She knows I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I love all this stuff, and I like seeing all the technical drawings that they're putting out as well, all the plans, all the neons, all the Michael and Denise Okuda stuff. Yeah, all that's starting to come out now too. We can all get a good look at that and geek out about it. Yeah. So, any other things that you're missing or demanding to come back for the future? Because Star Trek, obviously, I think the future is looking brighter than it has since Star Trek Discovery was announced. With Star Trek Strange New Worlds confirmed, I think second season of that begins in about 6 weeks' time. So there's that, and he keeps saying we must stress nothing's in production. Something's got to come of this.
You hope, but there's nothing good coming up right now, right?
Section 31 was announced.
Bimbo, like, oh, I'm from space. He's like,
let's look at what's actually coming. So this is what's coming for the rest of this year. Yeah. We've got another season of Lower Decks, which I couldn't get past season 1 of that. Prodigy, which I've been told I must watch this. I've been told by several people I respect who, for example, felt the same way as I did about Discovery. I've been told that is a show worth spending time with. But it's priorities, isn't it? So I will watch it at some point. But Strange New Worlds is the one that's back. First of all, that's on June the 15th.
Not crap.
Season 2. And we've got a 3rd season confirmed already in that as well, Chris. So that's a vote of confidence.
It was planned for at least 3 new seasons. No, Strange New Worlds could, with some better writing and recasting of some of the characters,
needs tightening up, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I have hope for that.
I won't even say tightening. I'd say tweaking, and all shows have that after their first season. There's always something that needs tweaking. Twerking would be fine as well. You should see the girl who plays the Klingon, the Vulcan woman in it. I'd be down for that. I really would.
A note about Anson Mount. Well, I was at a fan expo in Cleveland last month, and he was there, and also the gentleman who plays Spock, whose name eludes me at the moment. And I was speaking with Peter Weller's manager because we had just taken pictures, the fan pictures and such, and Peter was on his way back, and his manager was like, "Oh, Anson Mount, he is just so handsome. I want to get a pic." I'm like, "Give me your phone." It's like, I want get a picture of him in profile. So I took a picture of him in profile. Several of them. I'm like, "What do you think?" She goes, "Oh, God bless you." She was like, "He's so beautiful," and you know what? He is a handsome man. So yeah. There you go. That's a striking gentleman right there.
Yeah. He's a proper sci-fi, swaggering, manly action hero with a commanding presence.
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying that women can't fill that role. Of course they can. But this is I think Star Trek really needs a figure like that right now. A couple of them, and that's why I'm happy for them to have characters like Jack Crusher on the board that they can take anywhere. I no idea. I mean, maybe he'll be too busy to do whatever they got planned next, but yeah, who knows? Ian, have you got anything on your shopping list for Star Trek? Because you don't watch any of those shows. You've refused to watch Strange New Worlds up to now. So are you just sitting on your hands until we find out what Terry's going to be doing next? You're just going to be holding out to see where this could go?
More or less, Star Trek to me is dead. I was convinced to watch season 3 of Picard, and I did like what I saw. But it doesn't look like it's going to get any better because I'm pretty sure that Kurtzman's going to come back after the success of this one, and he's going to mess things up. Not interested in Strange New Worlds. The guy they got coming in as Captain Kirk and the guy playing Spock, they're not Spock and they're not Kirk. I don't give a shit about that crap. And also, if I support Strange New Worlds, I'm supporting Discovery, which I do not want because I think that's just terrible. So no, I'm not going to be looking at anything Star Trek related unless Terry's name's connected to it and he comes out and says this is good, because I trusted him then and he gave me what I wanted. So if he doesn't come out and if he's not part of Star Trek anymore, I've washed my hands of it. So that's where I stand, basically.
I'd say that's not unfair. I think that because I know the position you were in before, and you've probably, I mean, I remember when episode 1 of this, come to think of it, you really weren't at all on board, were you?
No.
But you are now. For you to have stayed the course with this for 10 weeks, it's really something. You're a tough crowd, Diaz. That's what I'm saying. A tough crowd.
I'm just saying that you know, it's not perfect, but it gave me some kind of enjoyment, and I did look forward to the episodes that were following. What more do you want out of a TV show? And it seems to me that it looks like they're going to go down the same route that they have been if they do continue with this. If Terry's not involved, if Terry's the only one that's driving the next one that comes after this one, then I'll watch it. But I'm sorry, I won't watch anything else if he's not involved at all. Sorry.
It's a vote of confidence in Terry Matalas. Yeah. What more could you want? What more could any of us want here on the Spacebook Live? I'm happy to deliver more than you can possibly imagine as I beam in a surprise extra panelist. He's here from another planet altogether. Yes, it is. It's the Rabbi, everybody.
Oh, no, you didn't give in. No.
Hello, how are you all? This is awesome. Okay, there's nothing about this that isn't fantastic in every freaking way. Okay, as Jack Crusher, you can so base a series on him, right? This is the brilliance of it, right? They paired back. They did a young Picard, right? And he basically came out to be an English Kirk, right? He's got the Kirk swagger, he's got the Kirk, and Picardy. It's such a great new generation. It works perfectly. It's got such a great understanding of what Star Trek is. Everything about this. I mean, there wasn't a frame that was wrong in the whole episode, and it made the problems I had previously. I don't care. I don't care. Whatever. And if I have to put up with a piece of shit Star Trek Academy series so I can get a Star Trek Legacy, yes, okay. If that's the price it's going to take, I will take it, because at least I'll be able to see that it was perfect. Absolutely.
Hold on. Rabbi, what are you talking about? You don't have to watch that show.
No. But I'm saying if that's cosmically the cost
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. None of us are going to watch Star Trek Safe Space, are we? Let's face it. None of us.
And I'm very worried about Strange New Worlds, the second season. It was the balance was nearly off on the first season, and I'm thinking they're pumping up Lieutenant Lesbian Latinx. They got rid of the best male character.
Look, Rabbi, I'm delighted that you were happy with the finale, because I know that episode 9 you weren't entirely on board with it, where you'd enjoyed it but with reservations.
I rewatched episode 9 and 10 yesterday, and
I did the double bill as well.
It's so worth it, right? It's so worth it because it really, there is clunky scripting. They could have done it better. This could have been more elegant. I don't give a shit. Okay, I felt close enough. I mean, really. I'm going to start fetching now. What do you want? A hand job? I mean, they're giving you freaking everything you would want. I don't understand.
No, it's not that.
I love it. I love it.
Star Trek, even the next generation Star Trek, when it was in its prime, there were still things in it that I thought, okay, no, yes, no. And this is the nature of TV shows.
Anybody remember Sub Rosa?
Yeah.
We've lost Greg Backham for the time being. I think he's had a power problem. I'm hoping to get him back, but I do want to. This is nicely timed, I think, for the final question I've got for everybody. Really, obviously, I've been following these characters, this crew, since. I mean, let's get them up on screen. So I've been following these actors mostly in these roles there with Jerry Ryan as Seven, and who wouldn't follow Jerry Ryan, even though she's beautiful and a fabulous actress. So I've been following these actors and actresses in these characters literally since I was a school kid, and through the small screen stuff and the big screen stuff. And this is where the story ends now. So we've got this one. This is them with Gene Roddenberry back in 1987. And I think that's Rick Berman, and I don't know who the guy is in that checkered blazer. Fabulous. But yeah, we've got them here at the launch there, and with Will Wheaton there looking about. I think he's older than me, Will Wheaton, by a couple of years. So there's Will and Marina, everybody there, and Denise Crosby there at the top. I half expected to see
the
Denise.
bacon evilness in Will Wheaton, even at that young age.
So there they all are, all that time ago. And now this is it, Rabbi. We've been promised that the story of the cast of The Next Generation has come full circle, and it's over.
Well, it has. I mean, look. Basically, after you finish the main plot, we had after the credit scene, after credit scene. They're kind of fun, but the way they finished it, which was on the card table, is the perfect way to finish this.
That's what Andy said. Yeah.
Amen.
Right? Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, it's All Good Things. He finally goes there and realizes what he's been missing out of his life, and now it is part of his life, right? And see, the essence of Star Trek is genuine human drama, connection with one another, wrapped in cool sci-fi desktop, right? And that's essentially what it. And that card game, right? They filmed it from the top. That was their connection. It was lovely. It was absolutely lovely.
Apparently, like Terry had let the camera on for 45 minutes, just watching them play poker as friends, like genuine friends, and everything you see is them having bants.
Well, I had wondered about that, if it was scripted or not.
No, it's literally 45 minutes of them playing cards, like not really playing poker because none of them actually know what they're doing. But literally letting Patrick Stewart win every single hand. Apparently, they rigged it so he'd win every hand. It's just them as 45 minutes of them as friends, just playing cards.
Can I ask a question?
If we get the Blu-ray, how great would that be?
Let me ask a question. Worf's head, did it shrink? Look at the size of his head.
Yes, it changes from season to season.
Well, his hair was really short at that time, but then he grew it longer. So I think it was less bushy looking then.
Yeah, even DS9 Worf is different from TNG Worf. So he has lots of plastic surgery.
Lots of little differences and things like that. I remember seeing this promotional image for the very first time and just thinking, that's Star Trek?
Oh, yeah. It was so modern. By the way, Wolf had the best line in this episode. It said, "I will come and make it a threesome."
Do you remember when you first saw the first season of The Next Generation? Everybody at school was doing this, weren't they? They were going, trying to press them. Everyone in the school.
Brilliant.
It was honestly, this show was first season wasn't very good as far as I was concerned. Second season was better. The third season was even better, and I just grew to love it. I've got to admit, I love Enterprise. Everybody seems to hate Enterprise.
I like Enterprise.
Season 3 and 4 of Enterprise are some of the best Star Trek you'll ever see, and they were robbed. They were robbed of a fifth season.
What I would love to see, I would love to see Terry Metalis, because I love him do everything. Do a 10-part series sequel to Enterprise.
Yeah, that's right.
Later. What happened after season 4?
Right? Yes. The war's going on. They had to come out retirement. It's the Enterprise has got like this new secondary hull, and they don't really. That's how like they had in Star Trek 2, 3, and 4. That's the best send off.
Scott Bakula said he would do it.
How old is Scott? How old is Scott? Anyway, how old is he now?
70.
Younger than Patrick Stewart.
He looks great for his age. He does, yeah.
He's 68.
Ah, 68. Let's do it now before he gets any older.
Do it. Yes, exactly. And
Well,
to be good, we're de-aging now, so it'll be
exactly.
fine.
Exactly.
It'll be
Yeah,
fine.
by the way, you asked why was Q old? I think Dan's answer was exactly right. However, the real answer is they could de-age him, but it's too expensive.
Yeah, I know it's too.
Well,
Yeah.
at the beginning of the second season of Picard, he said, "Let me catch up to you," and he did, because they did de-age him for like just a couple of minutes. But like the rabbi said, if they would have done that the whole season, there goes your budget. So it'd been like Rafi on a bicycle.
No, it's not true. It's not true. You can go online and ask someone, a Star Trek fan who does things like that. Ask someone to do it. They would do it.
Terry asked him at the end of the filming of season 2, saying, I've already got an idea to bring you back in season 3. I've got no money. I can't pay you anything. Would you come and do it? And he went, yeah. Really? Yes, apparently, yeah.
Really? Oh,
he literally said, I want to bring you back. I've got no money. I can't tell you how long, but I've got this idea for an end of credit thing. And because he's friends with John Delancey, apparently, because obviously he's known him since he's been working on the shows. And John Delancey just went a heartbeat, I'm in. So literally, I think he done it for free. So you talk about de-aging, he literally came back for free from his friend Terry Matalas to literally film this, and they filmed this scene. So they'd done there was a scene they done, oh god, what scene was it? I think it was like in 10 Forward or something. And they dragged like Jack off and John Delancey and filmed this thing in between filming other. So it literally we got 20 minutes. We've got 20 minutes. We've got to film it and we're done. And that's it. So he literally came back for no money, got 20 minutes, filmed it, and we got this amazing mid-credit thing. So,
did no one else know about it?
No. Well, other than people who were on set that day.
That's fantastic.
I just think the whole thing, keeping lid of all the spoilers of this show. When have you ever seen a show that's kept the lid on absolutely everything when everybody's talking about it? I just think it's amazing.
They had it easy because nobody gave a shit about Star Trek when this started.
Maybe.
It was like,
but as things picked up, though, I mean, let's face it, they still kept that end credit scene. Maybe
everyone was too astonished. I was like, how is this so good? What? How?
So with that question hanging in the air, and I'm still waiting to hope we can get Greg back, because I'd love to know what he thinks of this too. How many Borg cubes out of 5 would you give this episode? That's Star Trek Picard. You like that one, Andy? The Last Generation. How many Borg cubes out of 5 would you give this one, Scott?
Considering that there were a couple of things missing from my wish list, but they gave us plenty of fan service and the stories were great. I was soaked in tears a couple of times. I give it 4.5. 4.5 Borg cubes.
That's commendable. How about you, Ian? The toughest of the crowd, I think, generally speaking. How many Borg cubes are you going to throw into the drink for this one?
Out of what? Out of 5?
Out of 5.
3, I guess. 3, because I really did enjoy it. Yeah, I really did enjoy it, and I thought it was a lot of fun. There was a few things that didn't work for me, but I think it deserves a 3. I mean, it's not perfect. If it was perfect, it'll get a 5, and if it was better than good, then it'd probably get a 4. But it isn't. It's okay. It's enjoyable, and I liked watching it. So 3. I give it a 3.
Good stuff. And I'm going to ask both Chris from Cultivated Media and Bowles Trek in the Mirror Universe there. How many Borg cubes out of 5 are you going to give this one, guys?
I am going to. It would have been a 5, but I'm going to give it a 4.5 because there are some minor issues and the Millennium Falcon Enterprise.
I love that.
Me too.
But still, you're stretching things a bit. But no, the Enterprise love boat scene at the end.
I love that too. Oh, wait. When he swoops in and beams them up. That bit.
No, I'm talking. Oh, no, I'm not. That was awesome. No, I'm talking.
It was awesome.
No, that was one of the. You missed a rabbi earlier. I said I think that's one of the best scenes in the history of Star Trek. No, I'm talking about.
Thank you.
I'm
Seven and Rafi.
Enterprise G love boat with the couple in charge. I want to see 7. I don't want to see Rafi. So that was. No, let's not have that. But the episode, no, I loved it. if this is where it ends, then I'm happy this is where it ends. I'm very, aside from Strange New Worlds, I'm very not happy with what's coming forward, but that is what that is.
And how about you, Rabbi? I hear you've been singing its praises on your YouTube channel.
I do like it somewhat. I've done an hour and a half on it tonight already. I just heard
how many? But the question is, how many ball cubes out of 5 would you give the Last Generation?
I'm gonna have to 5 cubed, so I can't do the math on that. Right, 5 with a little 5 at the top, maybe with a little 5 at the top of that. I don't know what that works out to, but that's an awful lot. Now, well, I want to address a couple of things, right?
Yes.
Firstly, I think that if it didn't have a complete understanding and love of Star Trek, the visual keys that we saw, like the beginning of the TNG episode, right, the first couple of frames, which was just stunning and beautiful. If it didn't have that connection to an understanding of what Star Trek is, Chekhov's voice, for example, it would be just member bearers. But because it connects to a wider, genuine love and understanding of the lore, I don't think that's member bearers. I don't think that's fan service.
It's not empty.
Yeah, I think it's legit. So I think it's fantastic. And then what's the other issue? I was wondering something somebody else said. I can't remember. Like again, I want to see the series Star Trek Legacy. The way they said, by the way, Captain Shaw is going to be in Star Trek Legacy. They said.
We were talking about that. Yeah, it does seem.
And it says that they need Todd, whatever his name is. He's fantastic. So yes, I mean, whatever we have to do.
What they're going to do, Rabbi, is they're going to take his consciousness and put him in a robot body, but have him the same age as he was before. That's what they're going to do.
No, they're not. I think they're going to put Borg nanobots, and 7 put Borg nanobots into him, and he's got to live with the fact that he hates the Borg, but the Borg technology brought him back to life. I think that's what they're going to do.
Oh, that's a good one.
I mean that's the sort of like character drama that you normally get, right? And
What I think
is going to happen is that a Borg is going to sneak on board and kill Raffi, and then he's going to kill the Borg, and then that'll be that. Yes,
that's how he's selling it to the network. He's saying, look, we got a lesbian relationship, so much the queer visibility because it's 7 or 9 and Raffi. By the way, this was so good. It made Raffi a character I cared about.
No, it didn't. Shut up.
I'm the same. I'm with you. Yeah.
I don't care about her, but I tolerated her. That's how good it was.
Yes.
Until we got to the end, when I saw her as second in command of the Star Trek Legacy, thing, I'm like, I could go for that.
No.
Totally good. Totally fine with it.
Open the airlock and flush her out. That's what I say.
If they have good stories, right? That's
no. She doesn't deserve to be there. She does not.
Who knows where that's going to go? I'm giving the Last Generation, the last episode of Star Trek Picard, I'm giving this 5 Borg cubes out of 5.
I might go 4.75 Borg cubes.
Have I not asked you yet, Andy?
No, you did not. You just.
No, I didn't.
And the rabbi hasn't given this thing either.
No, he didn't give a score.
I said 5 cubes.
5
cubes, yeah.
5 cubes,
I would also give this 4 marks, and usually I say I don't give something 4 marks if I can think of a way in which it can feasibly be better. And but in my view, the things in which this could have been better are the same ways in which most of the other 9 episodes could have been better. And they are more production issues than creative ones, stretching money and things like that.
It could have been, for me, absolutely at the park. If he could have brought a couple of people back, for everything is 100% about he had bugger all money and made this amazing show.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I agree.
It's 100% for me. Production. It gets that the full weight of that, mostly because most of it was absolutely fantastic and just really, really compelling and thrilling and right and just so Star Trek. But the fact that it was done with love and with generosity and a proper sense of community. This was done, like I think I said this last week. It's obvious they had a really good time making this. That is allowed. Yes. What I don't like in television is when it's very clear that you're watching something that everybody's had a brilliant time making, but the viewer, it's like the worst time you could possibly have in front of the TV. Well, here, I think actually that for as good a time that they are having on screen, visibly having with this stuff, and I've no doubt it's the same for the people behind the camera as well, as much of a good time that they're having, I think they gave us an even better time with this show. And this episode in particular, that's why it gets full marks from me. And last but not least, the lovely Andy from Atomic Blonde LDN. How many ball cubes out of 5 would you give this?
So I was giving it a 4.75. So, like I say, the only slight downgrade is like production and a couple of bits and bobs, but Rafi Rafi didn't die, so 4.75 for me. But no, she absolutely became like bearable, and she worked really well with Worf. And the fact that Worf gave her a hug, I was like, what? It's like, I think maybe he like my brother said to me, he texted me, goes, do you think he sees like Jetsia? And I was like, no. I was like, no, not at all. And he's like, yeah, but she's like feisty. And I was like, let's not go into this because we will argue. But
see,
but yeah,
for me, Andy.
For me. Yeah.
For me, the reason why the thing with Rafi doesn't make so much sense is that for me, the real destiny for her character would have actually been to take a civilian life and to go and reconnect with that grandchild.
With her son and her grandchild, absolutely. Yeah. She wouldn't go off into space and be doing what she's doing.
No.
She actually...
Because she was pining for her, wasn't she, at one point?
Yeah,
well,
she was.
Her son wanted nothing to do with her, and she had it in to go be back with her family. And I think she would have taken a year or two out to be with her family, probably still work for Starfleet, but be with her family, not be in like googly eyes at 7, you know?
Maybe if they did do this series, this legacy series, they can start off where, 7's in her seat and then somebody says, where's Rafi? Oh, she went back home to her family. Yeah. Right, let's move on, shall we? Do you know what I mean? Maybe you can do that.
They're going to be in it.
It makes more sense.
They're coming. It's going to happen, mate. I really think this series is going to happen. Because I think this is the first time successful in decades, probably. I mean, it's really it's doing very well. It's doing what they want.
What chart did it end in, Dan?
Nielsen.
Apparently, it's not. It's the first one to do that, but the ratings isn't as strong as Mandalorian. Mandalorian's up there.
But this is apparently because it's so many weeks behind.
Yeah.
So what we're seeing is episode 4. And we know how much better it's got since episode, which 4 was brilliant. But so it's now hit the top 10 at episode 4.
Right.
So really? That's it? So it's going to climb.
Because it's so many weeks behind. So if by the finale it doesn't go up, I think it's like 8 or 7 in the chart. If that does not go above those, something's not being reported right.
Like, what else is on? What else is streaming that's big right now? Nothing.
I can't think of anything either.
This is going to be dominating the charts. I didn't realize that. That's a very good point you make.
Yeah, that's good then. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like episode 4 is 7 in the Nielsen ratings. Yeah. So it's only for me. It's only got to get higher in the ratings. So and everybody says. I mean, this is the thing though, right? And this will be the absolute hypocrisy. It's like, you get. Additional seasons, things get renewed if it's successful. Well, Discovery wasn't successful, got 5 seasons.
Oh. Yeah.
All these other things are getting additional seasons. And okay, Picard was always going to be the last season, but if there's not a Terry Matalis something, even if it's not Legacy, if there's not some other show, well, then you're just lying, because this is outclassing everything that has been made so far. So you cannot say it's down to ratings and money, because this is actually for the first time making Paramount money.
They don't care. They don't care though. And you know what they probably do? They'll probably do a Rafi Star Trek series. That's probably what they'll do after the success of this.
Starfleet Academy is a Discovery sequel. It's basically like
it's going to be more of the same.
It sounds awful. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope sanity reigns, but it's not going to.
Raffi teams up with Tilly. A
It-
Tilly
Yeah,
Raffi show.
probably.
By the way,
Ping
love
Raffi into
scene
the future, it'll all be good, whatever.
Sorry, Rabbi, what was that?
I love the scene in the episode where the guy they fight through to the bridge of the Titan, right? And they're like, okay, you take the car, and he's like, I'm just the chef.
Yeah, I'm just the chef.
Yeah, I like that as well.
I don't know how to fly.
Normally, comic moments like that are nauseating, but because it wasn't all like that, because we actually saw the fragility of the character as well, then it worked. He was cast really well.
Yeah,
It was just fabulous, absolutely fabulous stuff. And so, that's a pretty good score for that. I can't wait to see where it's going to go next. We're going to definitely be making more Star Trek content going forward. I'm going to say Star Trek's back, mainly because I do have faith in Star Trek Strange New Worlds. The things that I'm not so keen about are the stuff that I do feel could be hangovers. And if they're not aimed at me, I don't know. I refuse to let any of that dampen my mood or my enthusiasm for what we've just been treated to over the last 10 weeks. We're obviously interested in what you've got to say. Please let us know what you think of this finale in particular, but the entire season of Star Trek PICARD. I was going to say the Next Generation season 8 then, but that's what it is. Star Trek PICARD season 3.
It is.
What you think about our discussion here?
If they want Star Trek Strange New World season 2 to go well, they should announce a Star Trek leg. They should greenlight Star Trek legs in the next couple of weeks. That will generate interest for Strange New Worlds, because Star Trek brand is vitalized.
I think just say Terry Matalis is going to get another Star Trek show, and don't even tell us what it is, because even if it's not Legacy, with whatever he's going to make, we're on board, right? Yeah. That's what they need to do. It's like Terry Matalis is getting another show, and he's working on it right now, and we'll tell you what it is in 6 months' time, and we're like, okay.
I may have saved the article. I'll have to find it. And I don't know if you touched on it on one of the previous shows, Dan, but it was either Terry Matalis or I forget who, somebody in the production crew. They said that they definitely have plans for Kirk in the future of Star Trek. And then they weren't talking about the Kirk from Strange New Worlds. They were talking about they have Kirk's body. So they may be
well, that's interesting. That would be cool.
So I said there is no point in doing that if you're not going to involve Mr. William Shatner. I think that's the ultimate. All the wrongs that have been righted by Star Trek Picard season 3 by Terry Matalis, he's only been able to do so much. And I think that the on-screen death of Captain Kirk in 1994's Generations still smart.
Bad taste in the
30 years. Yeah, I think there's something there that can be done. I do hope they get a chance to tell that story. If they don't, then they don't. Maybe Shatner will be too busy. He's off to real life space doing whatever he's doing.
It's fine.
Yeah. But in the meantime, it's enough that this season has made us all love the fat one again. And the Enterprise D is well and truly back in fashion. So much so that I have broken out my box set of TNG to get some vintage Star Trek The Next Generation watched. So you as well. So I think we're going to come back to this somehow at some point in the near future. Let's go and see what people have got to say about all of this. One last look in the comment section with our friends over there. Okay, we've got a few good ones here. We've got somebody who's still raving about the Power Rangers. I love Power Rangers too. I do intend on covering that Power Rangers show because I think it looks like a lot of fun. But for the time being, it's Star Trek. We've got the Titan looks sharp from Lord Thoth. Where is Eagle Moss when you need them? You know what? I probably would.
I've heard they're coming back.
I've heard they're coming back.
I've heard they're coming back. Yes.
Yeah. No. It's Master Replica. I think I have the leftover stock. I think it's them.
And Michael Rogers here, who's Greg's pal, says, "I don't get all the hate towards Raffi." Bless you, Michael.
Season 1 and 2 is where you get all the hate towards Raffi.
Exactly. I think she did okay in this season. They actually gave her a slight sense of purpose. But in the first 2 seasons, it was Oscar the Grouch in the can. Just go away.
It was so
crackhead Raffi. Yeah, great.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have a startling officer be a crack whore. I mean, it doesn't work.
Lord Thoth speculates that Jack Crusher is a Mary Sue. I
What?
I think he's too personable to be a Mary Sue. Like I like being around that character. He's I like you know what? I like the way he when we first met him, he was like conning his way through stuff, right? It had a lot of swagger to it. I liked it a lot.
I think with the Borg Queen being gone now and he has no connection to the collective, I think all those extra powers he had developing are just going to all of a sudden go away, and he'll just be...
Oh yeah. By the way, that was great as well. When we finally got to the Borg plot, and it felt convoluted getting us there, but when we finally got to it, it was brilliant. Right, it was like the Borg Queen desperately clinging on to life.
Yeah, and he was brought up by Beverly, like on the outskirts of space in rough places. He learned how to handle himself, how to, be a bit of a Jack the Lad, how to protect himself.
They showed us who he actually was, and they demonstrated why he'd got the skill set that he got.
He didn't miraculously have it. Like, he was actually shown how he was taught it by his mother and the circumstances he was in. And then that's why he was a little bit out of his depth almost in Starfleet, because he's like, I know how to be a rogue and be a little bit ducking and diving, but I don't know how to be this. And that was a similar character. That was his evolution, isn't it?
There was a similar character in Enterprise who'd spent all of his childhood living in space. He'd never.
What's his name again? I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember the character.
He found the spot where you could like hang upside down in the pilot, right there. Yeah.
And I know they said that Jack was raised, went to school in London, so that doesn't quite apply to him. But I think it's a similar kind of thing. Donnie Pearson again says, I thought Discovery was okay as a Star Trek show. I keep taking the tablets there, Donnie. Glad you could join us for this show. It takes all sorts to make a world.
It's okay at best. I'll give it.
I mean, listen, some people like anal fishing, not for me. Some people like that.
And like they say, it takes different strokes, and
right, build up some lubricant.
Yeah, and it is just not something I can stomach. It's like, it's about my feelings. It's about my feelings. What am I talking about my feelings? Oh, we're on a ship in space. We're supposed to be blowing shit up, and somebody's but let's talk about how we're going to blow them up.
Michael Rogers did come to the rescue here.
That's okay.
To the rescue. He's identified the man in the checkered coat. That's Robert Justman, who was, I think he was a writer, wasn't he, on that show? I think he'd been a TV writer for decades, in fact.
Listen.
Chris, the original series?
The show was, right? You know those great Star Trek books like The Making of Star Trek, the technical manual, Making of Star Trek Phase 2? They had like these great thick books. They bring out a big book, The Making of Star Trek Picard, the final season. I'm totally buying that. I'm totally 100% buying it.
I'd buy an art book. I've got my eye on the soundtrack CD.
Oh, that was certainly
all of it. I'm going to buy it all.
Yeah.
It does feel like a genuine event, and I feel rewarded by it, and therefore I want to incorporate it into my.
I want that Liam Shaw mug. You know, I want that Liam Shaw. I want the Shaw mug. That's what I want. Like,
okay, if they don't make Star Trek Legacy, can Terry Matalas and Todd whatever his name is, Stadwick, can they do a show about a private eye? I'll be fine with that. I think he'll be great.
Just do something, anything. We've got some votes here from the live chatters too. Lord Thoth says, watching on YouTube, 3 out of 5 for this one. That's quite a high score from Lord Thoth for this show, I think. And Donnie steps in with there's always one. 10 out of 10 for the last generation, 9 out of 10 for the final season of Picard, and 8 out of 10 for the full 3-season run. 3 seasons? There's only been 1 season of Star Trek Picard.
Is it? Yeah, there's only 1 season, isn't there? Yeah. Weird.
We have Tony L says, hi everyone, I'll give the episode 5 Borg ships out of 5. I liked Raffi. They have to be careful, I think, if they do Legacy, not to depend on too much on the history of Star Trek, past TV shows and fan service. Well, there's no point in calling it Legacy if you're not going to do that, to be fair. Right. Legacy, the clue's in the name. But I think I know what you're saying, Tony. I don't want to be too good.
It's more about protecting the legacy than anything else, right? It's about
maybe.
He understands the legacy.
Oh yeah, Tony's not very happy with something you've said, Rabbi, but you're used to that, right? You're used to that.
I don't know what I said. Well, let's start.
Could be anything, to be fair.
Thank you to everybody for those comments.
Maybe he likes fisting. I don't know.
Could be.
Could
be. Let us know in the.
I wasn't saying it was. People do what they want. I don't know.
It's too late in the stream to get the firm answer on that. So please let us know in the comment section where you stand on all of that. And yeah, the Rabbi's question too, by all means.
Where do you stand on anal fisting? Yeah, please let us know. Let us know.
Do you fancy a fat one? And are you down, more to the point, for Star Trek? For Star Trek Legacy, so if so, then use that hashtag. Just like Chris said, they've got to get out and buy. What have they got to buy on physical media to get Picard onto physical media again, Chris? What have they got to pre-order?
Star Trek Strange New World Season 1, the 4K Steelbook.
No, thank you.
No.
I would actually get the 4K one, but I don't have a 4K player.
You know, I think I don't know if it comes with the Blu-ray or not. It may not.
Yeah. Do we just need to put season 3 on repeat on like Paramount and just watch it on repeat? That's what we need to do.
Yeah, you can watch it and repeat it. Just play it back and you watch it again.
Know what?
Exactly. Yeah, just play it.
It's social media conversation, right? More hashtag Star Trek Legacy. You know, the more social media buzz, that's the thing they listen to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just going to do that naturally because I think it's very good. This has got I'm Jewish. I go to synagogue on Friday night. My normie friends at synagogue on Friday night were like, "Did you see Picard? Oh, that was awesome, right?" So,
hang on, wait a minute. You're Jewish.
Yeah. I keep it under my hat.
Thank you. Right, let's do the rounds. Rabbi's lost it. So it's been a long night for you, Rabbi. So you've talked about this yourself. People can find that on your main channel, can't they? If they go and look it up, if they didn't catch it.
To find me, if you want to really help me out, go to Rumble. Go to Rumble and look up the Rabbi from Another Planet. Subscribe me there. Rumble is anybody who's a YouTuber, for the love of God, live stream on Rumble. I get 4 times the views on Rumble with a tiny channel. Right, my YouTube channel is about 4,000 people, under 4,000 around there. My Rumble channel is like 150, 200. I get 4 times the views because the algorithm, I believe, is reasonably fair and not weighted from one political worldview to another. Right? I beg of you, live stream to Rumble. If you can't do that, you can subscribe me at YouTube at Rabbi from Another Planet. On Twitter, I'm at Biblical Comics. I got a blue check mark, by the way, and I love having a blue check mark, watching everybody melt down. It's like, oh God, this is so fun.
Good man.
This is so worth the $8. Okay, right now, it's so it's like ashes in their mouth. Here's a check mark.
As long as you're having fun, so go and rumble with Rabbi, whether it's on Twitter causing mayhem with a tick mark, or whether it's watching his content.
So all my video content, I stream onto Twitter, and I have all my video content on Twitter as well.
Oh, I noticed one of your videos on Twitter as well. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because I think that a few people are doing that now as well. It seems to be taking off. It seems to be having the desired effect.
It's what they want to do, right? Do what they want to do. As long as it's something you want to do and it works out well for you. That's why Rumble's great. I really recommend Rumble for YouTubers.
There you go. Get consent, obviously, from all parties there. Atomic Blonde LDN, Andy, you seem remarkably. I was about to say, maybe not after that wave. How are you bearing up?
I'm doing all right. I think I might be sobering up a bit.
Yeah. Well, it's a sobering conversation. You put any content out tomorrow? Where can people find it when you do?
Hopefully, yes. I will be doing Sunday lunch tomorrow. So wrap up with the shows I've been watching, including what we've been talking about. But there's also, I've done a whole independent single episode reviews of the whole of Picard. So go watch those episodes 1 to 10, where I go into detail. But yeah, generally just covering shows I've been watching, a bit of pop news as well, pop culture chat. And hopefully that'll be tomorrow, Sunday lunch. And you can find me on Atomic Blonde LDN.
Marvelous stuff. Chris, how's Dinkles? Is he in fine voice? Is he getting ready to make his return to YouTube? You've got a video coming in the next couple of days, haven't you?
Oh, he's working on it. Yeah, he's back from vacation. He hasn't his PhD was revoked, so he's working on that right now.
Give him my love, please.
Like Jordan Peterson's, he's had all his qualifications taken away, is he?
Yeah, I'll tell. Yeah, Dinkles, Dr. Scott appreciates you, but yes, he's very angry. He's also mad at me for quitting for like a year. So I do have a Rumble channel, but I haven't put anything on it yet, although I'm going to start cross-loading my content now that I'm making content again. I do have a video on Star Trek Picard, or basically detailing problems within Star Trek. I'd never seen that carpet before. I'm going to be doing that. So I am the old YouTube channel, Bulls Trek at Rumble. 2 YouTube channels, at Bulls Trek and at horror_fan1978, Cultivated Media, my alternate ego, which talks about like fun things and not sad things. And that's me. And there's that expensive statue that Picard just threw away in Generations because they forgot to watch the episode from the last year. Yeah. Damn, that carpet is ugly. Damn, never seen it from that angle. That's hideous. Oh, good Lord.
Yeah.